XRP $1 breakout volatility. We're going to be breaking down why the $1 level, obviously a big psychological level, but the move that comes from the $1 level is going to be a pretty violent one because that open interest and leverage is starting to creep back in. This is when we see that big shift. So it could be one final drop, or maybe we do get that breakout and we start turning in the other direction, which would be lovely to see. I know a lot of people are trying to squeeze in those last orders though. So let's break it down for you guys in a full market update. I appreciate your support. If you haven't already, please make sure that you are liking, hyping, subscribing, and sharing these videos out far and wide. All of those things really do help us, and I greatly appreciate your support. Now, per Bloomberg this morning, Scott Bessent is sending a clear signal, traders say, that he will do whatever he can to prevent bond yields from soaring. We've been talking about how President Trump and Scott Bessent are willing to sacrifice the stock market to save bonds. They're willing to, well, let's be careful with my wording. They're willing to launch tariff wars, right? We're willing to go into Iran. We're doing some deals over there. And I'm not saying that they're doing that to save the bond market, but I'm saying they are not scared to scare the market into fleeing back into bonds, right? And so we've seen this time and time again, and we had the biggest intervention in the Japanese yen in a couple decades that showed up at the start of this month. And all of the intervention for the JPY, it was up at 164, a level that it hasn't been at since the 80s. They brought it all the way back down here to 155 temporarily, but now we're back up here. And the USD is appreciating against the yen again. And we're back up to 159 as I record this update Monday morning. And so we're back into danger territory. And just like they're saying here, Scott Bessent sending the clear signal that they will do whatever they can to prevent bond yields from soaring. Well, if I go back to the bond market, we'll just show you real quick what we're talking about here. This is the JPY 10-year. Look at that thing moving back up. And in fact, let me zoom out to the daily chart for better perspective so you guys can see just how far this thing has moved up. Okay. So you're back up to nearly 3% on the 10-year Japanese government bond. And it's the same thing here in the United States of America. You're pushing back up at 4.75 to roll into August. And they can't get this down. Right? They cannot get this down. Back in March after the war started, or I should say the end of February, after the Iran war started, they were able to get the 10-year back down to 3.9, but it didn't last. And now we're back up here at 4.7, facing against 7% interest rates. Faced against a wall of maturities on treasuries that need to be rolled over. Who's going to be the buyer? Here is where cryptocurrency plays the role. And this is why we've been paying attention to the space so closely, is because we know it is the solution to the debt, currency, and liquidity crisis. So Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent this morning saying that POTUS and Congress delivered the Genius Act, establishing a landmark framework and clear rules of the road for payment stablecoins, and Treasury is moving quickly to implement that framework. Treasury welcomes input from stakeholders as we work to provide the regulatory certainty businesses need to innovate and grow in America, cement the role of the U.S. dollar as the world's reserve currency, and keep America the crypto capital of the world. I think that they accomplished their main mission, which was getting the Genius Act passed and rules for stablecoins, which protected the banks and helps us to expand U.S. dollar dominance, which is it's basically the direct quote from President Trump at the Bitcoin conference in 2024. Bitcoin's not the key. It's going to be stablecoins are key to U.S. dollar dominance. And so Genius is here. They're moving full force. And I want to remind everybody that the job's not finished and that they want to see us become the crypto capital of the world, not just by having our stablecoin rules implemented, but also that Clarity Act. And without the Clarity Act, if Congress wants to play games, we're already seeing the SEC move. We're seeing the CFTC move. They are not stopping the progress. And this is showing you right here, don't take it from me, take it from President Trump. Okay, you don't like President Trump, take it from Scott Bessent. They're noting how important stablecoins are going to be to saving the U.S. dollar and our bond market, right? Because the stablecoins are backed by treasuries. So we need buyers. We need demand for treasuries. Let's juice stablecoins. Let's juice. And if they pass the Clarity Act, we'd be able to actually lock up more stablecoins as collateral, drive more demand for stablecoins that are backed by treasuries. See, the problem is, the dollars in your bank account aren't backed by treasuries, right? And they need to get people out of, other assets like stocks back into bonds if they want to get those yields down. And so we saw the shock after the tariffs. We saw the shock after the Iran war was announced, and it got down the interest rates temporarily, but it wasn't lasting. So all of this to say, why is this so important? It's more incentive to get the Clarity Act done. And regardless of whether or not Congress stalls it up, progress will be made. It's a matter of national security, and it's a matter of our economy on its last life, waiting for rates to come back down as our economy has been choked out by elevated interest rates that have not given us any relief. Okay? Now, turning to crypto, data leaks expose 54,000 Trezor and SafePal users to phishing scams. What we're watching here in the meantime, while we don't have Clarity Act, the scammers are running wild, and they're having a good time doing it. And the bad news for you as a crypto investor is you might have been thinking that you're doing the right thing, doing self-custody with Trezor or SafePal. And the issue here is not with Trezor or SafePal's cold storage device. It's the information got leaked or hacked. And so your name, your address, your email, your other information might have been exposed if you bought Trezor in the past 2 months, I think it is. And then I'm not sure who all was affected on SafePal, but almost 50,000 users here. And we've seen a few of these in the past couple weeks. And the problem is it's difficult to actually buy any of these devices without your real information or sign up to these platforms. You have to use your real information, right? And so it does expose us. I do recommend having backup emails, backup phones if possible, right? Doing all of your crypto activity on an old phone that's not connected on a regular basis. But I want you guys to stay tuned because I'm going to be doing a full security update for you guys, going through all of the best practices and the things that I do to make sure that my crypto is secure. I do still use self-custody. I use hot wallets. I use cold wallets. I'm messing around on the XRP ledger, but I'm not really messing around in MetaMask and Ethereum. I have that, but I don't mess around in Ethereum with bridges and smart contracts and all that crap over there. I don't really mess around with that. But like I said, you might have been doing the right thing. You did all the right things. And then these companies allow your data to get leaked. Big problem. And so we're going to be doing a security update on that. Make sure you guys stay tuned for that. In the meantime, all of this stuff happening makes me more secure in having my assets secure with free institutional grade custody with our sponsor, iTrust Capital. If you guys haven't checked them out already, I have them linked up down below. And when you use my link and get your account funded, you can get a $100 funding bonus. But they have the 3 different products for you: the IRA account, the premium custody account, and the Treasury account for your business, your trust, your nonprofit. They have an account for you. And now they have all of the assets that you need. Not only do they have crypto, they have precious metals, and they just went live with stocks and ETFs as well too. And so I love this setup. For me, this is going to be nice because I'm just starting to get into stocks a little bit more. And I already have my precious metals. I already have my crypto. But for me, being able to rotate between the different assets without having to leave the account, without having to leave the platform, right? All in one place. If I want to rotate from crypto to stocks, I can. If I want to rotate from stocks to metals, I can. I can do it in a tax-free Roth IRA with iTrust Capital too and grow all of that wealth tax-free. So use my link down below, get that $100 funding bonus, and we'll just stay tuned for the security update that we do on all of these cold wallets getting hacked, all of these other issues. My information got leaked in the Coinbase hack. So my emails, I got emails, I got texts coming in from fake Coinbase support. All of these things we have to watch out for, and it's why I like working with the partners that I have. They got free institutional grade custody with additional layers of protection to make sure that it's me trying to get my crypto or get my money out of the account. So start investing like an institutional investor. Free institutional grade custody linked up down below. Now, I talked about XRP on-chain finance being built out in this morning's video. If you guys missed that video, I dropped it a little bit early, about 6 a.m. West Coast time, 9 a.m. Eastern. So you might have missed it. Go back and check that one out because I break down on-chain finance and how we're maturing as a space from what we used to call DeFi is now on-chain finance. And it works better for the suits that are selling it with their slideshow presentations. DeFi is kind of a dirty term now So now we're going to switch to on-chain finance. You got to let the marketers market, okay? Let us cook here. We got to let us sell this. Let us sell this and let the suit sell it. Well, it's not just on-chain finance for humans. It's also AI agents. We reported this morning that we've already had 2 million AI agent transactions on the XRP ledger, and this process is just getting started. Now, the new term over here is agentic finance. I like this one, Brian Armstrong. We're watching AI fi develop in real time. Agents will inevitably outnumber humans. They need rails that can keep up, and we're building them. So Coinbase, they're already moving at full speed. The XRP ledger with T54 AI, that's the company that is really spearheading this effort. They've been invested in by Ripple, and I had the founder, Chandler Fang, on my show too. You guys should check out that interview. That was a really cool conversation. So agentic finance, AI fi, it's here. It was DeFi. Now we're going to call it on-chain finance, right? All of this getting built out for humans to use it, for AI agents to use it. And it allows you, if you want to remove all middlemen, you don't want any exchanges, any platforms between you and the ledger, you got it. And then if you want that same experience for your AI agent, you can have it as well too. But then on the flip side, if you want to just go to a centralized platform like an iTrust Capital and let them manage it all and let them give you, 2%, 3%, whatever it ends up being, you can do that too. And I'm going to do both. I'm going to, a little bit more degen, doing it DeFi, right? With my own trading and stuff. But then I'm also going to give a check, not a check. I'm going to give a chunk of change, a chunk of my XRP to, iTrust Capital, to Caleb and Brown, and maybe to some of these other yield providers and say, let's see what can happen. I'm also on the degen side, the DeFi side, playing around in Flare. So I'm doing both, and I'm going to keep you guys updated as we break down all of this. But 2026 is the year that we get the on-chain finance on the XRP ledger, and the AI agents are already at 2 million transactions and growing, okay? And so it's really coming together here on the XRP ledger. But price, Zach, price, it's $1. Let's talk about it. We're back to a level where XRP goes viral, okay? Everybody starts to think about it again. And you might be loving this. You might be trying to buy it, like me. Once we get down to $1, it's back to a level where we're throwing money at XRP again. Or it might be down to the point where you say, I quit. It's kind of one or two sides. And there's a lot of people that are quitting right now, and they're giving up. But the question is, do we have enough sellers to actually push this down much lower? I don't think that we do. I don't think that we're going much lower. And I want to make a point here that I am trying to be as straight up as possible in my analysis that I share with you guys. I try to be as clear as possible about time frames, about expectations, which way we're going. And I also give you the caveat that I am wrong from time to time. I'm not trying to be your oracle. I'm not your guru. I'm not going to trade for you. I'm not your financial advisor. Never will be. Okay? But when I share my analysis, I try to be straight up. I'm not trying to over sensationalize. But like yesterday, I put out, I've been putting out some videos lately about getting our last buy orders in. And it's like, people think I'm like dooming and glooming and fudding everybody out. It's like, no, I'm just warning that we might sweep from $1 down to 90 cents one last time. That's not, we're not doing anything crazy. See, I'm not going to FUD us and over sensationalize us to the downside. And I'm also not going to spoon feed you hopium. If you want hopium, if you want somebody to tell you everything's going to be okay, you are in the wrong spot. If you need some baseless hopium injected into your veins, I can direct you in the right direction if you want me to name names. I think you guys are here because you want that straightforward analysis, and that's what we're going to continue to provide to you guys. And the reason why I titled today's update, XRP $1 Breakout Volatility, it's not clickbait, it's nothing crazy. What we're breaking down here for you guys is that we're back to a psychological level where attention comes back in and the leverage in the bets start to come back in. Going long, going short. Chart Nerd gives us the data right here. Volatility is coming. Aggressive shorts versus whale defense. Short bets are increasing, but funding remains slightly positive. This will be an interesting battle right here. Now, Crypto Insight UK is pointing out what we're talking about right here, which is open interest is climbing. More traders are starting to arrive. We had no volume. This thing was dead. Nobody was paying attention. And you're kind of in a no man's land when we were chopping between $1. It was like $1.10 and $1.50, $1.60, right? That's the range that we've been in for the past 6-7 months. That doesn't get people excited, right? When we get back down below $1, then everybody's excited. The people that want to FUD XRP and say it's dead, it's over, they have their moment. The people that are excited to buy, like us, right? Here we are. Now we're excited. We're not sitting back in our seat anymore. We're leaned forward. We're engaged. Or if you're like me, you've already placed all your buy orders on these platforms, and I'm actually heading out to go get fitted for golf clubs today and going to go golfing today, right? I'm trying to set all this up, let this bear market conclude, not get caught up so much in the day-to-day price action and swings and sensational FUD and doom and gloom, but instead get your buy orders set, let the bear market pass, and don't be taken back, don't be shocked when we get this big breakout from this level that we're currently in. And the question is, are we going to get that breakout to the downside one last time before we pop back up? Or are we going to get the juice that we need to finally break back out? And the level to the upside that we're watching is back above $1.20. And to confirm that the bull run is for sure back on, the levels that we're watching to break are about $1.60 to $1.70. Now on the daily chart, I've had this 14% measurement to the downside measured because that would be the average downside move that XRP makes during an August midterm year. 14% from where we started off the month takes us down to, guess what, 90 cents. But this is where everybody's placing orders between 88 and 99 cents, right? I already told you guys publicly because I just keep it real. I got an order at 96 on Caleb and Brown. I got an order at 92 on Caleb and Brown. And another order at 92 cents on iTrust Capital. So I'm telling you guys, I'm just being open with you guys about where I'm at. And that's the setup. And is it too much of a difference buying now versus at 90 cents? It's not that big of a difference. And that's the point. The point is get excited because we're about to get the volume that we need to break out of this level. And if we break down to 90 cents and then break out, are we going to be complaining? No. We'll only be complaining if we don't get our orders filled, which is possible. It's why I have orders placed on multiple platforms at multiple levels. It's why I've already been dollar cost averaging from $1.30 down to these levels here. XRP $1 breakout volatility. That's the title. As I explained right here, this is why I'm expecting a breakout. Is it going to go down? Is it going to go up? I think that we're pretending if we can say that we can time this or play it perfectly. But what's clear to me is that we've mostly finished the downside move. That's the point that I want you guys to take home, is that we've mostly finished the downside move. The bear market's pretty much over. Between now and the midterms, it chops, it breaks, there's chaos, there's politics, it blows up. Anything can happen. The aliens could arrive. I don't care what the catalyst is going to be to drive us down to that downside. I just want to make sure my orders are set, get them filled, and then boom, we're back off into a bull run. The inflows are coming back. Clarity Act will pass. The ETF inflows have stayed positive this entire time. XRP on-chain finance is being built out. The AI agentic economy is being built out. There are no bearish catalysts left other than aliens and a big bomb dropping. All possible. After you knock down those dominoes, what's left to drop? All that's left to happen is a bull run beginning once again, and this is where we've seen XRP outperform last cycle, expecting it to outperform again this next cycle. But in the meantime, I'm looking at stocks right now. I'm looking at other cryptos. I want you guys to stay tuned because I'm going to be conducting coin review updates. So in the comments down below, let me know the next coins that you want me to review or provide an update on. We're going to be going through all of those as we finish off this bear market. And I just want to say thank you for all of your support. If you guys haven't already, please like, please hype, please share it out far and wide. And I'll see you guys in the next one. God bless you all.